Hi everyone, this is Becca from Becca's Music Room. I'm a music teacher who talks about teacher tips, teacher life, teacherpreneurs, and all things that might hopefully make your life just a little bit easier. Today I'm here to talk about my 2020 goals and just how I plan to actually make them happen. If you are interested in that and other goal related content, because I've got a lot coming out right now, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share so that you and other people can find it as well. All right, so if you missed it, I just posted a 2019 recap where I talked about how much I made from my TPT shop and all of my goals for 2019 and whether or not I hit them. Spoiler alert, some I hit, some I did not, and some I completely blew out of the water. Because of that, I have slightly bigger goals this year because I was like, if I did that last year, and I only expected this to happen, I just realized I wasn't quite dreaming big enough. So I have a couple of different goals. I don't have a ton. I'm not one of those people who's like, here's 50,000 things that I want to do. And yeah, I'm going to talk about my goals and then and a couple little tips to make sure that you can make yours and set them and get them as well. All right, so goal number one is pretty lofty, and that is to publish my book. So if you have watched my vlogs from last summer, then you'll know that I wrote a book in a month last summer, and I pretty much haven't touched it since then. I wrote the whole thing, I printed it out so I could edit it, and I started editing it, and then I just kind of left it and I haven't touched it. There's a lot of reasons for that. Honestly, I'm feeling a lot of fear, which is really stupid and what I tell people not to do, but I'm feeling it anyway. So I'm gonna make this happen. I don't know exactly what I need to publish the book, so I don't know when that will happen, but my goal is quarter one and quarter two. I would like to get it published before school lets out is kind of my goal. I don't know if that'll happen, but as long as it's this year, I am quite content. So be on the lookout for that, because when it is coming out, I will be giving lots of plugs because I would like it to also be successful, but for right now I'm just worried about publishing it. So getting my book published is goal number one. That is the number one thing that I want to get done this year. If that happens, I'll be pretty content. My second goal is to write a kids book. I've already started this and I have all of my outline and everything. I just need to finish it, and then I'll probably publish it next year. I don't know. We'll see. I want to finish the book this year, and so I kind of split it up. So publishing this book is going to be quarter one, quarter two, basically before school lets out, and then once summer hits, I'm going to focus on the other book that I'm working on that is a kid's book. I'm not going to tell you too much about it yet because we're still really far away from that, but be on the lookout for that too. So those are pretty lofty. Honestly, I feel like those are pretty big. So those are my two main goals for the year. Those are I want that to happen. A bunch of these other ones are not necessarily project goals like that, but they're just things that I always set goals for. So for example, I always set how much money I want to make in my business. So I had that. So this year, my goal is to make $20,000 on Teachers Pay Teachers. I'm a little scared saying that out loud because I don't know if it'll actually happen, because that is more than double. It's almost triple what I made last year, but I'm going strong, and even if I don't hit it, it won't be the end of the world. But my goal is to hit it. I need to come up with a reward if I do hit that. We'll see. Next up, I want to make $1,000 in my Etsy shop. I just started an Etsy shop in July where I sell music teacher resources like ukulele bags, recorder bags, door signs, lots of things like that. And so my goal is to make $1,000 on Etsy. I think that's fairly doable. We'll see. Next thing, I want to reach 1,000 YouTube subscribers. I'm currently sitting at 620, I think. So that actually is something I would like to happen before school lets out also, which I think is pretty doable. We shall see. And then I have so I have 2 Etsy shops. I have my Becca's Music Room, and then I also have one called Becca Davis Designs. My goal is to sell 12 paintings in there, paintings or prints. I'm not picky, but I sell like watercolor and acrylic paintings, and then also prints and digital downloads, which by the way is a really great way to get really good art for really, really cheap, because those are very inexpensive. So selling 12 paintings, I feel that's another one of those I'm like, oh, I kind of don't want to say that out loud because I'm not sure if I'll hit it, but we shall see. My next one is also very personal, but pay off a credit card with just money from my business. So nothing from school, like my actual, day job, nothing from my husband's job, just money from my business is my goal. So I don't just want to make money for no reason. I have reasons. And then I've been running, and I've been stuck at like 2 miles for a long time, which I know is not much, but the point for me is not miles, it's just whatever. And I want to up that to 3 miles, which should be doable. Actually, I can probably do a lot more, but I don't want to. So we'll up it to 3, and then we'll work on it from there. And then my last goal is to read 33 books this year. So every year I keep track of how many books I read, and my goal is always to read 1 more than the year before. So last year my goal was 24 books, and I read 32. So this year my goal is 33 books. So yeah, that sounds like a lot, but I think it should be pretty doable. I don't know exactly what books I want to read, but I do have like a little chart that I keep in my bullet journal. You can see my 2020 bullet journal setup in a video I shall link down below. And so I keep track of my books on the bookshelf, and then on the other side I have a couple categories that I write to make sure that I don't read the same thing over and over again. So I have just like different categories of books. So like something long, something short, a classic, a book that I have owned but have never read, a biography, at least 2 business books, at least 2 teaching books, something by Hemingway because I just love Hemingway, something I've read before, something by my favorite author that I haven't read, and something by a British author. So that's only 13, so that still leaves me at 20 books to whatever I want. But if you are wanting to read something, I think having a slight challenge for yourself definitely helps. So those are my goals. A couple little things that I want to point out about how I set mine to make them actually doable, so that it will help you set yours so that they're doable and you don't forget about them. Number 1, I write them in a really prominent place. So this is my bullet journal. This year my planning system is going to be my bullet journal, and then also my full focus planner. I write my goals in both of them, and that just helps me keep track of what I want to do, because every day I open up both books and I'm like, oh look, here's all the things that I want to accomplish this year. So keep them in a very visual place would be number 1. Number 2, don't have too many projects. So I have 2 projects. I have publish book and then write a kids book. And those are really my only and I guess pay off credit card would be a project. But the other things are just things that I normally do anyway. So like I'm always going to be making, hopefully, I'm going to be making money on Teachers Pay Teachers. So I'm just setting a goal for how much I want to do. So yes, I need to work a little bit harder, but it's not like a big lofty pie in the sky kind of thing. Same with reading. I always read, and I always set a reading goal. It's not something new. If I had gone from like never reading before to wanting to read a bunch of books, then I probably wouldn't put other things like publish book, those kind of project goals. So do make goals for things that you do on a daily basis anyway, but don't have too many like big projects if you have a lot. So kind of look and balance things out, and then also decide like what are your main things. So for me, like publish book, finish my other book, and then making 20,000 on TPT are like my 3 main goals that I really want to do. So I know if the other ones I don't hit, it's not the end of the world. So those are 1, was that 2? I don't know. And last one, keep track and reward yourself when they are done. I haven't decided on my rewards for these quite yet, but I will have, at least for some of them, a reward for myself when they get finished. And then keeping track of them, again, something like the bookshelf tracker that I showed you in my bullet journal, where I can keep track. Money's pretty easy to keep track of because it's there. But I also have a tracker for like how much money I make in my business and stuff like that. So those are my quick little tips for setting goals you're actually gonna hit this year. Feel free to leave any of your goals or tips for how to hit your goals down below. If you are interested in seeing how I'm going to take those goals and actually plan for them to happen, I'm going to have a video coming out very soon where I show kind of how I plan for my year using my full focus planner and then also my bullet journal. This is my first year using a bullet journal, but I had similar systems just kind of spread out before, and so this is the first time it's going to be like compact. So I'm using this and also my full focus planner to just keep everything together. So that video is coming out soon. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your goals down below in the comments if you feel bold enough to share. I shared mine even though I kind of didn't want to, but I did anyway. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share so other people can find this video as well, and have a wonderful, wonderful week.